Alright everybody, it's Tim of Vulcan Mobile Welding Fabrication. I put a video out, I put a short out a couple days ago that I had just been approved from the United States Coast Guard to manufacture and sell aluminum fishing boats. So, why I'm making this video is I read some of the comments on there. For the most part, you know, it was a positive thing, but of course you always have that one person that likes to bash or just say things they don't understand. So I'm just going to put out a little bit of information in case anybody reads that and they're not entirely sure what's going on. So I'm not going to put the commenter's name on there. I don't even remember what the commenter's name was, but their question is why not just get rid of my LLC if I'm going to be building boats, being that my business name is Vulcan Mobile Welding and Fabrication. Okay. So I'm going to address that first. So why would I not get rid of the LLC if I'm going to be doing boats? Well, most companies have an LLC, and then they have what's known as a DBA. So that stands for doing business as. And a lot of the times, most companies, most businesses, whatever name you read is not the actual name of said company. That is their DBA. It's also known as the fictitious name. So as long as you have an LLC, you can file for that. You better make sure you have an LLC, because if you don't file for an LLC and then you try to get a DBA, they're going to red flag you. So companies that have an LLC will normally get a DBA in case they want to change the advertised name of their business that is separate from the LLC, because your DBA can have, so I advertise my business as Vulcan Mobile Welding and Fabrication LLC. So if I wanted to advertise it as Vulcan Welding, I would have to file for a DBA to advertise it as such. To put that on my business cards, to put that on Facebook, to advertise to anybody, I would have to have that as a DBA, because I'm doing business as Vulcan Welding instead of Vulcan Mobile Welding and Fabrication LLC. So, but I advertise my business as Vulcan Mobile Welding and Fabrication LLC, except for on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that, just because I'm limited to how much I can put in for my username. So in that instance, I am limited to it, but I do advertise my business as my full LLC name. So why would I not get rid of that when I start building aluminum boats? Well, for one, I'm still going to be doing my mobile welding and fabrication business. But whenever filing for a DBA, you can operate both of those at the same time. So I'm not going to put the name of what I decide for the boats, but for the brand that I plan to do, because whenever I go to do the DBA, I'm going to file for that here in the state of Florida. But I can operate the DBA and operate my LLC as two separate companies, even though they're under the LLC name. Now, when it comes to tax, all taxes and stuff like that are all up under my LLC name. So that makes it a little bit easier for businesses to do. Excuse me, being that you don't have to file taxes on several different LLCs. So as long as you have one LLC, you can have as many DBAs under it as you want. More is not necessarily better, but you can do that. Makes it easier for filing taxes, payroll, stuff like that if you have to do that. Also with, let's say you're going to, also with banking. So if I have an account through a metal supplier, I can just say, hey, bill it to the same account that is on this, but have the name list this. So it's still going to get pulled out of the same banking account, but it's going to be pulled under the DBA. Now, I can make it to where I have two separate accounts at my bank, but everything is still under my LLC. That is completely legal. That's how a lot of businesses work. Most of the time, whenever you're looking at a business name, that's not actually the name of the business. That's not the name that they have the EIN, which is their employee identification number. That's normally not even the name that they have on their legal documentation. That is completely separate name that has nothing to do with the business license or anything like that. That's just how they advertise it as. So that's that part. That's why I'm not going to get rid of my LLC, because it makes no sense for me to get rid of my LLC. We'll go on to the second part of his comment. So after he said, why not just get rid of the LLC, get rid of that LLC, he proceeds to say he's preparing for a lawsuit, and that should show his type of craftsmanship. I'm kind of confused, actually. I don't know what lawsuit I'd be getting prepared for. I was licensed by the Coast Guard. I'm legal to manufacture boats. They have my EIN number. I gave them the full name. And then whenever I get the first boat built, I will then refile with the United States Coast Guard that whenever I get my DBA, which I plan to do that in the next week or two, I'm going to re-email the United States Coast Guard, and this doesn't cost anything. Getting it's what's known as an MIC, which is a manufacturer identification code. If the name of my business changes, technically it's not, but I'm going to let them know that, hey, I am filing for a DBA. This is going to be the name of said DBA. And they will let me know if they have to change anything or if it's all still the same. Again, when it comes to my MIC code, that's all filed under my LLC name and my EIN number. Okay, so they check all that stuff, they background check it, make sure I'm a legitimate business before they approve anything. They're not going to approve you without knowing that information. So there's no lawsuit. I'm not stealing anybody's designs. The designs I have are all drawn up. Most of your designs of boats, it's a lot of people, whenever they go and explain patents. So whenever something is patented, because I thought about patenting a few things that I had made that nobody else made that design, and the design of the thing that I made worked amazingly. I was like, hey, I should patent this, that way nobody else can sell it as theirs. So when I looked into it, one, it's insanely expensive for a small business to do, especially me just starting off, to patent something. I mean, you could go upwards of $5,000-$6,000 for a patent. And then they want the exact measurements. Now, why would they want the exact measurements? That way somebody can't take the measurements of your product, measure it out, cut it, and then sell it as their product. But if they change a few designs here and there, so let's say something I make is 10 inches long and 8 inches wide, and that's how I sell that, and that's what the patent is for. Well, another company can come in and go, okay, make it a little bit smaller, make it a little bit bigger, we're going to change this knob, we're going to change this style handle, we're going to change this a little bit. They look similar, but they're slightly different, so they're no longer in violation of that patent. That's why you have so many products on the market now. Some products that had patents put on them and still have patents put on them, but then you go to another company and it's a little bit different. It's the same thing with slightly minor design differences. So patent's gone. So how I design my boats, all this stuff is going to be measurements that I go off of. I worked for one boating manufacturing company, but I'm not going to be making the same style of boats that they have. I don't even remember the measurements that they had. It's been years since I've worked for them. But so there's no legal issues with me making boats. There's going to be no patenting issues, no copyright issues. And the other thing, when it shows the work of my craftsmanship, you know, I own up to my failures. So I've had one failure. I actually just got off the phone with a gentleman about it. It was about a specialty tool that he wanted me to build, and the tool's not quite working properly. It's working, but not the way he would like. And I let him know, like, hey, no problem. I built this. It's not working properly. I'm going to get it back from you. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to retest everything. And that you don't pay me any extra. You already paid me for a product. and that product's not working to your liking and it's not working properly, well, to me, that's a failure. So when it comes to my craftsmanship, I do take pride in my work, but, you know, I don't understand what that has to do with me advertising that I am now able to manufacture aluminum boats. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of people on here that comment and say random things. For the most part, I don't care. I really don't. I think it's hilarious when people talk about things that they don't understand. I've had to look into this because if I don't, I could lose potentially a lot of money. Okay, I'm not a rich man by any means. I am lower middle class. I was about middle class 4 years ago. I am now classified as lower middle class. But yeah, so I don't take any of this lightly. But again, so for anybody that may see that short and read it, just be aware that, you know, you got people on here that just say random things that they don't really understand. There was another gentleman that had commented and explained to him like he doesn't really have an issue. Again, I don't remember that person's name, so thank you if you see this. But yeah, so I will be manufacturing. Sorry, y'all. I'm in Central Florida. It is summertime. There's bugs everywhere. I got gnats. But yeah, so I will be manufacturing aluminum boats. I will be building my first boat hopefully within the next 2 months. And I will be putting that out on YouTube and TikTok and my Facebook page. My Facebook page is Vulcan Mobile Welding and Fabrication LLC. So if y'all want to see all the stuff I've done, stuff I've built, things I work on, hit me up, let me know. I also want to get into a little bit of why I'm building the boats, of why I want to get into building boats. So when I worked at that boat manufacturer, out of all the jobs I've ever worked, it wasn't the best paying, but I thoroughly enjoyed building these. It was just something where I'm able to take this and somebody can have this forever, essentially. And it can be something that's passed down from father to son, grandfather to grandson. And to be fairly honest, the profit that you can make off these boats. Again, I'm going to base my boat prices on the market, of what the market is, but it's also just me. I don't have any overhead cost. I've just got to cover my material and my consumables and then the power for my shop. And so I'm going to be fair on a lot of my pricing. I'm not just going to try to make as top dollar as possible. I just want to make enough money in my life to live comfortably and not have to worry about bills or anything like that. So I wanted to get into it because there is that potential to be extremely profitable. Not only that, I've got a few friends where whenever I am in the position to hire employees, I've got a few people that I've worked with for several years that are good welders, good fabricators. We work well, extremely well together. I also want to be able to give those people that I see that worked as hard as I did and are in the same situation that I'm in. And actually, I'm making less money than they are now because I've started my business. And so I'm still within my first year. So I'm not making the money that I was. It's a little bit hard, but you know, I've got a dream and I'm gonna make that dream come true. And I want to offer them an opportunity to work for a company that truly values them. I don't want them to work for a company that, you know, we're gonna bid for this contract and we're gonna bid it at $140 to $180 per hour, per man hour, but you're only gonna see about 20 bucks of that, and the rest of it we keep. No, I'm not doing it that way. If I hire, I wanted to get it to where if I hire somebody where their starting salary or their starting pay, I want it to be where it equals $80,000 a year for those individuals. Okay, and hopefully by the time I get to that, I'll have a shop with good ventilation in it, good material, good things to work with. I don't want to be like all these other companies that treat their employees unfairly. Not only that, I am never going to sit in an office. I cannot stand sitting in an office and doing nothing. I like getting outside and working on things. So, again, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll keep y'all updated on when I get this boat built, and I'll take a few short videos of me building it. I don't want to, get off any of the designs before it's completely done. I do kind of want it to be a little surprise, but yeah, y'all like and subscribe. I'll keep y'all updated. I'm not going to be posting a whole lot. Mainly it's just going to be updates and all like that. So thank y'all.